Hey guys, so today, day number 3 of Prayers in Matthew, and today we're going to be looking in chapter 7. We're still in the Sermon on the Mount, and if you remember Sunday, Jeff preached on chapter 7. He preached talking about the whole judgment thing, but we're going to skip down a little bit, and we're going to look at verse 7, and this is what it says in Matthew 7, beginning verse 7. It says, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find it. Knock, and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Who among you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, who are evil, know how to do or to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him?" So here we see that this is that whole ask, seek, knock. And what the Lord's trying to tell us is it's important. Again, prayer is important. It's a big deal. Remember, he just talked about prayer in chapter 6. So here he is. This is his Sermon on the Mount. He's talking, he's speaking, he talks about prayer. This is the model prayer, but then he turns around just a little bit later and he begins to talk about prayer again. He says, ask, seek, knock. And he says, ask, and it will be given to you. He says, seek, and you'll find it. And he says, knock, and the door will be open to you. And he follows up, he says, for everyone who seeks receives, or who asks receives. So if you want to receive from God, you got to first ask God. And then secondly, he says, and the one who seeks finds. It's just taking a step farther. It's one thing to ask for something and to get something back. It's another to be diligent enough that you're actually seeking after it. You're looking for that thing. And then the last one he follows up with, he says, and knock, and to anyone who knocks, the door will be opened. The idea of there's a hesitation, when you knock on the door, wondering, are they going to come to the door? Are they going to answer the door? But it's this whole idea, you ask, and it's given. You seek it out diligently, and you're going to find it. And then lastly, you're going to knock on the door, and the door will be open to you. The idea is that what the Lord is telling us is that it's important to be faithful in prayer, and to be seeking in prayer, and to be asking, and to be desiring in prayer. And that doesn't mean that God's like a genie, that whatever we ask, he's just going to magically give us. It's not like we're wishing here on a lamp, Genie, I want this. Boom, got it. But it's seeking God for those things. It's important that we know he knows we have needs. It's important to come to him with those needs. Sometimes in stress, we don't have the answer, so we're looking to God. But also in good times and easy times, it's okay to come to God and to ask for direction, ask for clarity. Sometimes if you're trying to make a big decision, sometimes I think we forget to ask God first. What does he want for us? And so it's easy to say, this is what I want. This is what I'm working towards. This is my goal. These are my dreams. But are we asking God? Are we asking him? Are we seeking what his will is? Are we knocking, hoping that he's going to open the door and give us what we really need? But then he follows up with these words. He says, who among you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? He says, or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? So this idea of and we know there are evil people in the world, but the idea for the most part, a parent isn't going to, if their kid asks for something to eat, they're not going to give them a rock and say, yeah, chew on that. Or, they're not going to, if they ask them for a fish or something, they're not going to say, here, and give them a poisonous steak, something that'll hurt them. As parents, we love and care for our kids. And pretty much most parents out there want good things for their kids. They desire better for their kids. And this is that idea that this is how God is. He has good things in store for us. He wants good things. He's not going to give us things that hurt us. And sometimes we ask for silly things or things that will hurt us. And his answer is to give us things that are not going to hurt us. They say there's three ways God's answers: yes, no, and not right now. So, sometimes we don't like the no, and sometimes we definitely don't like the not right now. We always want the yes. But we got to be asking, seeking, knocking, not just what we want, but His will in our life. And he ends with this. He says, this last part of verse 11, if you then who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask Him? So this idea here is, if we who are people of sin, with a sin nature, who aren't perfect, and sometimes we do bad things, if we know how to take good care of our kids and to give them what they need, how much more is our Heavenly Father, who always has our best interest in His heart and His mind, how much more is He going to care for us and make sure He gives us things? Sometimes we give us kids things that we think are good for them, but later on we're like, oh, I wish I would have never have given them that. I wish I would have never have let them go there. I wish I would have never have done that for them. And maybe they wouldn't be where they are now. God knows this is not right. This is not good. He always has the right answer. So if we care for our kids and willing to give them good things, how much more is our Heavenly Father willing to give us good things? But you can't just sit there and go, okay, God. We have to do part of the work. That means we have to ask, we have to seek, and we have to knock, knowing and expecting His will. That's my word for today. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.